my name is Martin Rushforth and I've developed the Guitar Tots teaching system. So I'm just here to tell you a little bit about how it works. It's aimed at children that are 2+. I've used this system to kids that are aged around 5 or 6. So I'll just run through some of the basics to explain how the course actually works. So what we have first of all is we have a sheet showing the strings and the frets on a guitar. The strings each have a character, so it's very easy for your children to identify with them. So for instance, the E string, it's a nice deep note, so that's Elmo the elephant. We've got the A string, that's Andy the ant. We've got the D string, which is Debbie donkey. We've got the G string, which is George goat. We have the B string, which is Barry the bee. And we have the top E string, the thin E string, which is Ellie elephant. And she's Elmo's baby sister, by the way. Okay, so we also have two other important notes, which is one of them is the F note, which is here. I'll just put that down a second. We've got an F note here. That's Freddie Fox, and we've also got a C note here, which is Chelsea Cat. So each string and note has a character. Kids love to identify with that. So okay, the next thing I will show you is the fingering sheet. Now this shows which finger is going to be used to play a particular chord or a particular note. So with kids, young kids, we're not going to go into any sort of detail with this, we're going to keep it nice and simple. So we have the big finger, which is our first finger. We have the middle finger, which is this one. This one's done in blue, the big finger's done in red. We have the little finger, which is this one. Now the reason we're just calling this big, middle and little is that a lot of the time we're just going to use these three fingers. There is the pinky that does come into it, so we call that pinky, and that's obviously done in pink. Okay, so that goes with the chord sheets that I'm going to show you in a minute. So, okay, so moving on to the chord sheets. This is an example of a chord sheet. Now, again, we've got the string characters showing which strings we're going to play in this particular chord. You may note, for instance, in this one, which is our A chord, we have an X and Elmo is missing from this. This is because we do not use that string in this particular chord. Down the right hand side here we have the fingering which we're going to use for the chord. So we've got big, middle and little finger in this particular chord. And then we've got the character Andy Ant, because this is his chord, and we leave that uncoloured in there, so again your kids will like to colour them in, and it just again helps to reinforce the identity of this chord. Okay, so I'll just play that chord. So we've got big, middle and little, just 5 strings, and that's our A chord. And you'd be surprised how quickly, even young kids will pick up on this. Okay, you may also just note very briefly, we've got a star above the A string. This denotes the fact that this is actually the A note in this chord. We've also got one here, and that's another A note, so that's on the middle string there, on our G string. So again, younger kids might not be bothered about that, but funnily enough, you'd be surprised how often they'll say, "What's that star for?" And you can explain to them that's another A note. Okay, so that's one of the chord sheets. If I just quickly show you what creative little kids do. Here's one that a 3-year-old coloured in, and again, it's amazing how they will actually colour in even all the squares, which is great. It's a nice thing for them to do. And then we've got an Andy Ant one there. That was done by a 5-year-old, obviously slightly neater than the 3-year-old, but there we go. So, okay, that's the A major chord sheet. Okay, so moving on to the actual the song content. Guitar Tots is always it's all based around nursery rhymes, so songs that kids love to sing along to. Okay, so I'll just show an example of one of the chord sheets, or one of the song sheets here. So on there we have the 3 characters that are going to play the song with us, and then above the words we have the actual character that you actually play for that particular part of the song. So for instance, in this Yankee Doodle song, Andy the Ant features quite a lot. We've also got Debbie Donkey in there, which is a D note or D chord, and we've got Elmo Elephant in there because there's an E in this song. Okay, so let me just give you a little example of how to play that song, how your kids would play it. If we're going to play it in full chords, which is what we eventually want to get around to, we'd do it like this. So we'd have our Andy the Ant chord, and we'd start with Yankee Doodle came to town, riding on a pony. He put a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Okay, so that's the first verse of that. So it just shows how very easy it is to look at the sheet, see the character, and you know exactly when to play it because it's above the word of the song that you need to play it on. Yeah, so you can look at that and figure that out. Okay, to break it down into an even easier way of playing it, we can do single notes with this. The reason why I've developed this course is, and I've really put a lot of time into working out the simplest way to play these songs. So this song can actually just be played on individual notes and open strings. You don't have to fret anything for this, it's all open strings if you want to do it, and I'll just give you an example of that now. So Yankee Doodle, we're going to use our A string, so it would just go like this. Yankee Doodle came to town, riding on a pony. He put a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. That's just all open strings, very easy for kids to do. So that's certainly something that I would start them off with, especially younger kids. Okay, then if you really want to go, if you can play guitar yourself, or if when your kids get a little bit more advanced, there's a slightly more advanced version. This is using fingers to play the chords. And again, there's a full sheet for you there, and I'll just show you an example of how that would go. This is how things could progress with the course. So we're going to use our A chord, using our thumb to pick a string. So the first verse of Yankee Doodle would sound like this. Yankee Doodle came to town, riding on a pony. He put a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Okay, so that's the full range of ways to play these songs. Very easy or slightly more advanced, and it depends on the age of your child or the progression of the child as to which method they play. I'll just show you a few of the things that we've got with the course. So we have another colouring sheet. This goes with Yankee Doodle song. Okay, so again, this is just a line drawing version of the song, and kids will colour that in. Also, there's the characters, so it will they can again immediately see who's in this song. I've already gone through the chord sheet there. Other things that we've got with the course, there's a range of stories that I've developed that use the characters from all the Guitar Tots course. Use all the characters there, and throughout the story, kids can pick up on the character, the part of the story that's got a particular character in. You can get your kids to play those notes or those chords. There's 3 or 4 stories there for you to use. You can make your own stories. Kids love to make things up. Kids make up their own songs even once they've got these ideas. So I do encourage you to allow your children, to do that sort of thing. Also, very importantly, you get reward stickers for this. You must reward your child every time they've done something good or played a note. Just use them, as much as you can, because they love to get reward for it. Also, everything comes in a nice neat folder for you. All the song sheets, everything's laid out so that you can quickly go to a particular song. There's the sheets for them to colour in there, and explanations how to use the course. And then finally, you get a DVD which shows you all the basic versions of the songs which your kids will be able to play along to and sing along to. Okay, that's about it. I think that should just about cover everything with the course. And so yeah, just enjoy it and enjoy it with your kids, and they'll get a lot out of it. I mean, the idea is for this course is to get your kids really identifying with the fact that music and guitar, it goes together, and they can really achieve things and progress at a very early age, and really set them up with some good life skills for the future. Okay, thank you very much.